Hello, fellow Christmas lovers and enthusiasts. You are listening to Closer to Christmas, the Christmas podcast where every episode that comes out, we all are a little bit closer to Christmas. My name is Charlie, and on episode 21 of Closer to Christmas, I'm going to be talking about my top picks from the Hallmark Keepsake 50th Anniversary Dreambook for 2023. And now you know what this episode is about. It's time to grab your favorite beverage, coffee, cappuccino, whatever you like. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Closer to Christmas. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back for more. On this episode, as I stated at the top of the show, I'm going to be talking about my picks from the 2023 Hallmark Keepsake Dreambook. So this year, Hallmark is celebrating 50 years of keepsake ornaments. If you haven't seen this catalog by now, you could stop into any of your Hallmark stores and pick one up there, or you could request to get one mailed to you. There are codes online where you could get it shipped to you free of charge, so just search around for those and I'm sure you'll find them. Or there is also an option where you could look at the catalog online. I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite ornaments out of this year's selection. None of these are in any specific order. I do just have quite a few to go over and then some honorable mentions, and as I was writing down my honorable mentions, that list ended up being longer than the ones that I actually would have picked to buy, so I'm just going to go over most of them that are on my list here and tell you a little bit about the price and what it says about them in the catalog, and what page they're located on if you wanted to check them out for yourself. So since my honorable mention list turned out to be longer than my actual pick list, I'm going to cover the honorable mentions first, and the way I'm going to do that, I'm just going to rattle them off, tell the page number, and a little bit about the description, what it says in there. So first up in my honorable mentions is on page 68 of the catalog. On page 68, this one is letter E, and the title of this piece is The Mysterious Mickey Jack-O-Lantern. This one didn't make the cut for the official ones because it's not technically a Christmas ornament. It is from the Keepsake Ornaments, but it's a Halloween ornament, and it retails for $26.99, and it requires the Keepsake Power Cord, which you can get, and that's available in July. I don't have any of the Keepsake Power Cords, so I don't know how that would actually work, but it looks pretty neat. It looks like Mickey's head, and it looks like there's some lights in it that kind of change color throughout the whole jack-o'-lantern, so that one's a pretty neat one. I wouldn't mind having that one, but again, with it being a Halloween ornament, it didn't make the cut for my top picks in this catalog. Next up in my honorable mentions, on page 11, it is letter K, and this one is called Cinnamon's Letter to Santa. It retails for $17.99, and it's just a little elf running with a letter to Santa, and it's addressed from Cinnamon to Santa at the North Pole. I put this one on the list because I love a good elf. I really enjoy some of the way they do elves in this, and this one's pretty cute. It just has an elf running around like crazy, holding a letter that is almost as big as the elf himself or herself, and I just enjoyed this one, so it made an honorable mention. Next up on the honorable mentions, on page 18, this one is letter E, and it is called Just Believe. This one has Santa Claus making a kind of a cute smiling face. His eyes are closed, and he's riding on the back of what looks to be a Loch Ness Monster, and on the back part of the Loch Ness Monster on the tail, there is a present, and it looks like it's coming out of water. It's kind of floating there, and it's wearing a scarf that says Believe. I enjoy this one because I was always into cryptids growing up, and I just thought the Loch Ness Monster was pretty cool. So this one retails for $21.99, and it is available in July. Next up on page 52, this one is letter B, and it is just titled Isabel. It retails for $18.99, and this one is Isabel from the Animal Crossing series. I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, so any chance I get to hang an Animal Crossing ornament on my tree, I would like to do that. So this one made the honorable mention list. I actually have an Isabel ornament. It's not this one per se, so I will not be picking this one up. That's why it made this list, but it is a cute ornament nonetheless. Then if you head over to page 40, honorable mention is basically the whole page. It's the Haunted Mansion collection. There's a tree topper, which I would not get for a tree topper. It just looks kind of hideous. It's a huge version of the Haunted Mansion just sitting on top of the tree. I don't really like the way that looks as a tree topper, but if you got that and set it up on a table with some of these ornaments, it's pretty cool. But they have the Haunted Mansion tree topper that retails for $149.99. There's a few other ones. There's Madame Leota, the coffin in the conservatory. So I enjoy all the Haunted Mansion theme ornaments on there. I do have tons of Disney related ornaments that we get from our vacations to Disney, so I will not be picking any of these up, but they're pretty cool to look at. So if you get a chance, check out page 40, the whole Haunted Mansion collection. Then over on page 45, we have letter O, and this one is Wally and Eve. It's the 15th anniversary. It retails for $21.99, and it's an ornament that features Wally and Eve, and it says it attaches to a string of lights, so I guess it lights up inside of Eve. And this one made my list because I love Wally and Eve. That is a great movie, Wally. And when my older son was little, he wanted a Wally-themed room, and we had the hardest time trying to find any Wally merchandise back then when he was into it because they didn't really make it. So I ended up making a lot of things, and we did get a Mickey ear ornament back in the day that is Wally and Eve. And the funny story about that is I ordered it from the Disney store because that's the only way I was able to get it. And when they shipped it in, the ear was broken. So I had wrote to them and they said, just discard it and we'll send you a new one. They sent another one, and that ear was broken as well. And basically these ornaments, I'm pretty sure that they still do them. It's just like the Mickey hats that you could buy at the parks, but they used to theme them to different movies and stuff. And this one was Wally, and on the other side it was Eve. But then finally they sent a third one, and when we got that one in, it was in pristine condition. It was perfect. But then if you look on the bottom of them, they'll have a limited edition series number. So there were 5,000 of these ornaments made. The first two they sent in were higher numbered ones. The third one that they sent in was number 0002 out of 5,000. So it was the second one in the production run. So I just thought that was a pretty neat thing to get, the second one out of the whole 5,000. Then on page 49, there is one that is letter Q, and it is called Snow Much Play-Doh Fun. I just picked this one because I thought it was pretty cute. It looks like a little canister of Play-Doh, and it has a snowman coming out of it. I thought it was done really well. It retails for $16.99, and it's available in July. And then if you head over to page 50, you will see another one called the Gingerbread Woman Lego minifigure. This is letter G. It retails for $16.99, and it's available in July. I put this one on the list because I'm a huge Lego fan. I love Legos, and I have the Lego Gingerbread Man minifigure, so this one would go nice with that. But this one's an ornament. If I find the minifigure, I would get that to go along with my minifig. But I do enjoy this one, and it would look nice hanging on a tree. And finally, in my honorable mentions, on page 66, letter H, it is called the Whimsical Waffles. It retails for $8.99. It is a mini ornament, and this one is available in October. It's so cute. It's a little mini waffle iron, and it has a snowman face on the front of it, and when you open it up, there's a little snowflake-shaped waffle inside of it. I thought that one was pretty cute. I like the flip-open action of that one. So that one's on page 66, letter H. And with the honorable mentions out of the way, I'm going to now, in no particular order, talk about my top 5 favorite ornaments in this year's Dreambook.
Hello, this is Art from A Cozy Christmas Podcast. We're the podcast that explores the coziest stories and memories of Christmas. Join me as I invite you to listen in as I read some of the classic stories of Christmas. Stories like The Gift of the Magi or A Christmas Carol, among many others you may not have heard of before. Sometimes I'll have a guest on and we'll talk about Christmas and the stories that matter to them, like the stories of their favorite Christmas memories and traditions. Sometimes I'm joined by my favorite co-host, my daughter Grace, and we'll talk about and try different Christmas foods, play games, or chat about our favorite Christmas movies and traditions. And also teddy bears. So come on in, make yourself at home, and enjoy all the cozy Christmas stories and more heard here at the Cozy Christmas Podcast. You can find out more at www.cozychristmaspodcast.com.
All right, again, these are in no particular order. On page 20, letter D, this one is the Moose Mug. It retails for $17.99. It's available in July, and it is just a filled moose mug from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. At first, when I saw this one, I thought it was a mini ornament, and now the more I look at it, and it's probably a full-size ornament, especially at that price. But I'd like to see this one in person and see how the eggnog inside of it looks. But from what I could see on the magazine, it looks pretty neat. Then also on that same page, page 20, letter J is the Coveted Gift, the 40th anniversary. It retails for $20.99. It is available in July, and it is Ralphie sitting on the chair holding that wrapped red present that the old man had tucked behind the desk in A Christmas Story, one of my all-time favorite movies. Next up on the list, on page 41, it is letter I, Mickey's Tree Farm. It retails for $19.99, and it's available in July. And I don't know what happened that red pickup trucks became such a symbol of Christmas, but This ornament is a red pickup truck being driven by a classic-looking Mickey, and it says Mickey's Tree Farm, and he has a Christmas tree in the back in tow as he is taking it to deliver to somebody's house for a delightful Christmas for sure. Next up is page 32. This is letter A, and it is a Charlie Brown Christmas ornament and stocking hanger. It retails for $34.99. It is available in October, and it is basically a miniature version of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. It comes with a red ornament to hang off the left side, and the top right side has a space available where you can hang any ornament that you choose off of there. And then at the bottom of it, you put it on your mantle. It has a stocking hanger, so you can hang your stocking on that as well. I think that this piece would look a lot nicer without that stocking hanger, because I really don't think I would use it as a stocking hanger, especially if it's kind of fragile. I don't like having stuff hanging off the edge of the mantle with stockings hanging down, especially having cats. I don't need any of them jumping up and pulling it down. So if you were able to take the hanger off of this one and just display it as the tree, that would be the way I would go with it. And finally, on my list of ornaments that I would love to purchase from the 2023 Dreambook, on page 33, it is letter E, and it is called Christmas Time is Here. It retails for $39.99, and it is available in October, and it's basically a little ice skating scene from the Charlie Brown Christmas special. It says Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer across the front, and the characters move and glide around on the ice to music, and you could go on their website and see this thing in action. I really like this one. It's a little pricey, but this is something I'm going to have to look at when I go into a store, see if I might end up with this one or not. I know a lot of people have different opinions on the Christmas special from Charlie Brown, but it is one of my all-time favorites. I love the soundtrack. I know it's quite somber, and I don't know. I like this one. This one might be one of my favorite ones in the book. So this is all from the 2023 Dreambook, the Hallmark Keepsake 50th anniversary. Like I said, you can check all these ornaments out online, or if you get into a Hallmark store, you could pick up the catalog for yourself. They're free, and you could take it home and look at it. Timing's a little late for this, but it does come with a wish list, and there's a whole checklist in there. You're able to fill out what you would like and drop it off if you want to order them. I never go that route. If I miss an ornament, I miss an ornament. I'm not really a big Hallmark collector per se. I like to get all of our ornaments when we travel on vacation, but if I do happen to see one at a decent price and I really like the way it looks, I'll pick it up in the store if I see it. But that's the way I do most of my Hallmark ornament shopping, is if I see it in the store, I'll grab it that way. Never really put in an order and never really followed the wish list and handed them in. I know a lot of people do that, and it's a really big thing, but it's just something I never got into. So those are my picks. So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of the podcast. If you would like to keep up with me, you can follow my art Instagram account that is at Ague Designs, AGUEDESIGNS. I do post some Christmas art on there from time to time if you want to check that out. Every once in a while, I'll go live and I'll do a drawing live over on Twitch. You can find all of the links to everything that I talk about if you just head over to closertochristmas.com. And just remember, the next time you hear my voice and this podcast, we are all going to be a little bit closer to Christmas. Thanks for listening. I would like to thank Kevin Ague for the use of his music for the intro and outro to this episode. Links to his music can be found on the show notes for this episode. If you could take a minute of your time and rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this show, it would be greatly appreciated. You could email the show at closertochristmaspodcast@gmail.com, and you could visit us online at closertochristmas.com. If you would like to have your voice heard on the show, or if you'd just like to send in a question or a comment, head over to closertochristmas.com and click on the message button. And finally, if you would like to follow our social media so you could see any pictures I might have discussed on the show, you could check us out on Twitter and Instagram, both at Closer to Xmas.
Closer to Christmas is a proud member of the Christmas Podcast Network. The Christmas Podcast Network is home to hundreds of great Christmas podcasts from all around the world.
Okay, Elfie, I'll take it from here. Make sure you visit the Christmas Podcast Network at christmaspodcasts.com.